Ladies and gentlemen, this time we are going to talk about how to make Windows a little bit less annoying, and we will do that by installing a new file manager than File Explorer, because it really sucks. It's the worst thing. Every time you have to go to the File Explorer, you just know that this will be a bad experience. So what you want to do is you want to install something called OneCommander. OneCommander, and you can read a bit about it right here. And they're totally right. They are not bragging enough. It's awesome. If you liked Norton Commander in the good old days, then you would also love this OneCommander right here. It has a lot of features in it, and let us just start with how to install it. It's free to use to begin with. So yeah, and you install it by using scoop. So you'll just write scoop install and then OneCommander. There's another thing now that you are using scoop. Of course, you're using scoop. It's really cool. It's an easy way to install applications in Windows. You don't get all of these wizards and pop-ups. You can also install IntelliJ's products with like IntelliJ, JetBrains products like IntelliJ. And there's another thing now that you are installing OneCommander, then you should also install the Windows terminal, because it's and as usual, what you do is you just copy these two lines right here. You go to a terminal and then you paste them in. You can do that in PowerShell, for instance, and then you'll get a new Windows terminal. And I'll tell you why you also need a new terminal. It's just to make the experience even better. So when you start up OneCommander, then you will get two windows, just like in Norton Commander. So that means that makes it just so much easier to copy files. So let's say that you want to copy one file from one window to another window. Then you just choose the file, but we don't have any file right now, so I'll press Control N. I have tweaked the UI a bit. That's why you see there's some small animations around the selected file and all that. Of course, you can choose that yourself, and I'll also show how to do that in just a minute right here. We want to create a text file right here, a text file, Mike's text file, Mike's to-do list. Enter. So now we have Mike's to-do list right here. And now I would like to copy it to someplace else. Maybe I want to create a new folder right here. So maybe I want to create a new folder, a new directory. Then I press Control-Shift-N. New folder right here. My folder. And or you can already see right now we need two windows to actually do this file transfer right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control-Shift-Copy. This will copy the path into the clipboard. Then I'm going to press Alt-F, so I go to the other side, and then I'll press Alt-D. All of these shortcuts, keys, it took me some time to get used to them. If you don't know them, and of course you will not know them to begin with, then you can go look at the settings, and I'll just show in a minute where to find them. Or you can also click, you can always right-click and then do something like that. You can also click the path in the top, then you can type it in right there, so you don't have to. You can click right here and then you say Control-C, and then you copy the path, and then you go to the other side, you press Control-V, and then you go to the path like that. It's just when you know the shortcut keys, it just saves yourself for a lot of clicks. So now I want to, let's say that I want to, if I want to copy the file to my folder, then I will just press Alt-C for copy. Now the file is copied, but what if I wanted to move the file? So let us just go delete the file first. So I'll press Alt-F right here, then we go to the other one, and then we delete the file. We go to the other window again, then I go to Mike's to-do list, and I press Alt-M for move the file instead. So now the file is over on another side. It's just much easier to use this file handling tool than the File Explorer. The File Explorer, it is really bad. It cannot be stated too many times, while OneCommander usually just works. I don't know why. This is the first time I've seen this actually time out. And the only thing I did was actually that I dragged. I think we have to close it. That was okay. Of course, it's while I'm making a video. I have also bound so when I press Windows E instead of getting Explorer, then I'm getting File Commander. And so let us just go back to the folder that we have right here. You can also have favorites. I have favorites out here on the left side. I can choose one of my favorites, like Mike's project demo, like this. And again, then I'll press Control-Shift-C. I go to the other window, change the location, and then I can just go to the same location as we were just before. And then of course I can also just write my folder. I can just start writing, and then I will only get the folders of the files that actually matches the text input that I give it right here. Okay, so here we have Mike's to-do list. Okay, it actually just says to list. That's also okay. Then there's another cool feature. Let's say that you have a bunch of files. You want to convert them into maybe MP4, maybe have them in another format. You want to convert PNG into JPEG, and maybe you want to change the file name for a bunch of files. Then you have something called automation right here. File Automator. And these scripts, you can make these scripts yourself, but there's a bunch of built-in scripts like add date and time. Let's just add that one. Let's just use that one. So now I'm going to rename all the files that are marked, and right now it's just one. I can drag in more files if I want to, so I can like batch change them, all of the files, if I want to do that. So now I'm renaming it, and I'm just following the rules. Right here we say that we want to have we don't want the time. It's okay, we don't need hour and minute, so I'll just uncheck that one. But now I should have the year, the month, and date included, and of course I can change another format if I want to. And then I can also change, let us say that I want the case should be uppercase suddenly. Then first I can preview, so I can see what the result will be before I actually do it. So here we have the Mike's to list. That is the result. Okay, that's fine. Process, and look what happened right here. So now we have the date, and we have and now it's uppercase instead. It's just so much easier and so much cooler than fiddling around with weird with terminal commands to do this. So what you want to do is you want to press settings to begin with, and then you can change the theme. You can change a lot of cool things, and there are so many properties right here. If you're ever bored one day and feel like playing a game, just go here to the settings menu instead, and then you will have just as much fun. Here they have the shortcuts editor, where you can go to set your own shortcuts, but you can also just keep the default ones. Then they have the experimental features. I have enabled all of these. I've registered it as a default file manager, and I've also added open in OneCommander in the context menu, and I've also registered Windows E hotkey. If you do not want to do that, if you don't want to have the Windows E key, then you can do something else. You can pin it in the bottom right here. If you pin it in the bottom of the screen, then you can always press Windows 1. That would always open the first pinned one. Windows 2 will open the second pinned application, and so forth. So that's an alternative to if you do not want to overwrite the default Windows E to Windows File Explorer. But of course you want to, because Windows File Explorer really sucks. It's really bad. It really smells bad. And you have to take a shower every time you've used it, because you soil yourself, because it's so bad. Okay, let us just press F10 now and see what happens. Okay, then I'm starting up the default terminal. Very cool. And that is exactly why you want Windows Terminal to be installed, because you don't want to open up a command prompt, or you don't want to open up Windows PowerShell by default. You want to have all of these options right here, so you fast and easy can start. For instance, git bash. I've actually not configured git bash right now, because I had to reset the settings because I was fiddling too much with the settings. But you can actually create your own profile right here. So you can also create a profile for git bash. If you use WSL, then you can also just use that terminal as well. It's just much stronger. So if you have never tried Windows Terminal, then install that definitely also. Okay, so far so good. So that was the Windows Terminal, and we have played with. We have set. We can set defaults. We can set the favorites, of course, and we can also how do we navigate, Mike, in all of this? Yeah, of course you can press Tab to go through all of the components, and there are actually not that many. If you want to go to the favorites, for instance, and just press Tab until you end up over there. And you can also press Alt up, then you go to the one level up in the folder hierarchy. You can press Enter, then you go one level down. And if you press Delete, then you delete the file. One up, delete again, then you delete the folder. And of course you have to be a bit careful, because there was no annoying "Are you sure?" prompts. I don't know if you can set that. Maybe you can. You probably can. You can also press backspace to go up one level in your hierarchy. So if I press backspace, then I end up on a level. If I want to navigate back to the last folder, then I can press Alt, left, and right, but I have all written these keys to something else and yeah, so that it does not work with it on this setup right here. But yeah, I cannot use Alt. Let me try Alt ground. Oh, I can actually Alt ground. Okay, I can use Alt ground. And then I can navigate back and forth in my history. So that is actually also quite cool. So if you go to a folder that you just looked at some time ago, then Alt ground and left and right, then you can actually find it. Left is back in time and right is forward in time. Yeah, not forward in time, but forward in the folder hierarchy and in the folder list. Yeah, that you opened. In the order, yeah, folder order. In the left side, you can see all of your drives and then the name of the drive afterwards. You can see my names are here, like medium space, banana split, Windows, and yes, I have 4 drives right now. I just found a lot of, I tend to find a lot of hard drives in my drawers, and then instead of just leaving them in the drawer, then I just plug them in so I have extra space. And then I have enough space for Counter-Strike, which is quite cool also, right? Okay, so that was then the file explorer, but Mike, what if I want to open a file? Does that work just like in File Explorer? Yes, actually it does. If I want to open something, then you get exactly the same options as you usually get. You can actually get more. Okay, quite cool. Can I search through all the files? Yes, you just press F3 and then you can go through all of the files, and it's actually I would say, better than usual. Oh, that was the tag button. I just hit that right there. It wasn't no names. So then I can search for something. Let's say that I want to search for POM XML file. Okay, and it goes into the subfolders per default, subdirectories, and I think you can change that behavior. Actually, I've never tried that actually. And with the green icons that you can see right here, that's something you can turn on and off. But if it's a file that has been seen that has been changed lately, then it will be green. I think it's within 7 days, and then it gets another color if it's within 1 day. Then it's yellow, like as I can see right here. Then it gets blue when it's like 5 months since I've went into that folder and changed the file. So that's also a way to actually organize and see which folders are actually important to you, because then you can see if they've not been changed for a long time, then then of course maybe you should clean them up. They also get another color if they are really, really big. So if they're like many gigabytes large, then you will also, if there's a large file, then you will also get a special icon for that. Actually, see this one got, but it's possible to set that one up. I don't think it's for folders. I think it's for files. If you have one huge file somewhere, let me just see if I can find one. Okay, it does not get another color right here. It's because I've turned it off, I think. Because it is possible to get another color when you have a large file, so remember to clean them up. But this will definitely, if you don't like Windows, then this will make you dislike it a little bit less, because the file, the OneCommander right here, it is pretty good, but now it's just froze again, and I have I'm not lying. These are the first times that I must have had too many things open, because usually it does not freeze up like this. And it started when I pulled the window. Maybe there's an error with that, but it is really, really good. Except for it crashed twice while I made this demo here now. That's actually a bit, I have to figure out why. That is a little bit annoying. It is hanging, so that means that it's probably doing some things. Oh, now it's done. OneCommander. So it's actually, it thinks that it has to do some things, but I don't know what it is trying to do. It's trying to resize the Windows screen. Yes. So maybe I should open that web page with suggested fixes. I'll read up on that afterwards. So, but this is OneCommander. It can definitely be recommended, even though that. Let me just try to resize it again. Maybe it's the resizing it doesn't like. Yes, it is. I think I found the bug. Does not like the resizing. I've always had the maximized windows, so that is where the bug lies. Resizing the window, it doesn't like that. That's a little bit weird, but yeah, I'll dig a bit deeper into that one. But it is by resizing it doesn't like it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for installing soon the Windows terminal. And of course, there are also a lot of other cool terminals out there. And if you want a parrot inside your terminal, you can also install that. It's all there with Scoop. Just look through type terminal with Scoop, and then you get a lot of other cool setups. Another good thing that and another tip for what you can actually use is that you can you should also use Notepad -- if you don't have that already. So when you're opening a text file, then instead of opening it with Notepad, then you just open it with Notepad -- it's just so much better. Let us create a text file. My txt, my text. And now if I want to open this one right here, then I can say open. I think actually I have set the default to txt actually already, as yes, it is already Notepad -- but it's right here. If you haven't installed Notepad -- then do that. It's cool, and as usual, you can set up a lot of cool stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for all of your comments. They always make my day. So I hope to see you again very soon, and have a great day, and thank you for being who you are.